Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the LETTERTALKED podcast, where friends become enemies and enemies become friends, especially with today's episode. And this week we're covering the 2013 classic, About Time. All right, I am pumped for today's episode. I am your host, local film enthusiast Andy Roberts, and joining me is the number one Dumb and Dumber fan that I know, Bryce Barter.
What's popping?
He did the cinema pose. He's ready to go. He's excited. If y'all didn't know, this is kind of the format we're going to be rocking with for a few weeks here, maybe for the indeterminate future for the Letter Talk podcast. We're going to be having a guest host on, and we're going to be covering one of their favorite movies. So we'll still rock with the same things we do at the beginning of the show. And then when we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode and cover the movie for the week, we're going to be covering a guest's favorite pick. And Bryce, I'm excited to get into your pick today. About Time is a movie that's near and dear to my heart. We'll talk about it a little more later, but I'm excited to get into that. So expect some of those patterns as we move on forward.
What a selfless host you are. I mean, covering one of my favorite movies, and you want to talk about it, taking the time to see it. I know you've already seen it, but it's perfect.
And it was a great film to rewatch. And I'm just happy. What a selfless person you are to come onto my podcast, our podcast, the family, the crew, the community podcast of Letter Talk. I'm excited about it. So it's going to be a good episode. I do want to start off today. We're going to cover a few things. Now showing news is how we're going to start off. Oh boy. It's currently Thursday night as we're recording this. So that means technically tonight for early screenings, there's two big movies that dropped tonight. The first, How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake. What do you think about the OG?
The OG, I think I rated the whole trilogy 4.5 stars on Letterboxd, maybe 5-star. Ooh. I love the trilogy. So Gerard Butler's in the live action.
He is,
and I'm excited for it. I'm seeing it in D-Box, I think.
In D-Box?
Yeah.
You already got your tickets?
I don't think confirmed, but Haley was talking about it. She was like, I want to see it.
That might be a good D-Box movie if you're writing if they make it feel like you're writing Toothless or anything. Oh my gosh.
Banger.
POV your hiccup. That'd be sick. It's got an average rating right now on Letterboxd of 3.9, which is really solid for opening. That's solid, especially for pre-screening stuff, for a live-action remake especially. 8.1 on IMDb. Okay. That's great. And a Rotten Tomatoes 79%. Not my favorite rating system, but that's really interesting.
Their rating system?
Yeah, I don't like their rating system for that. If y'all didn't know, I'm just going to rant for a second about Rotten Tomatoes. Something like Letterboxd and IMDb takes the average accumulation of the average ratings that people give for whatever movie you're talking about. Rotten Tomatoes, all they cover is a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yeah. That's it. It's just a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And however many people give a thumbs up is the percentage that you see. Yep. So that means 79% of people gave a thumbs up to How to Train Your Dragon and 21% of people gave a thumbs down, which is such a weird way to consolidate the opinion about a movie. So I don't know. The audience score rocks the same way. It's like a plus or minus, and it's just a weird way to rate a movie, in my opinion. But it still works. I guess
like I'm giving most movies a thumbs up, no matter what.
Right? Exactly. That's maybe why they don't give you the Rotten Tomatoes.
A thumbs down is a bad movie.
It is a bad movie.
Bad movie.
That's why these critics are really going. These critics are really going hard on these movies.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about the cast? I have been talking with a buddy of mine about some of the cast, and I'm like, they're kind of mostly unknowns, right? Other than Gerard Butler.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen the dude's face, the main guy, in the movie, but I can't I feel like he's been like a voice actor for something.
He has. You know what? I just had it pulled up and I lost it, but let me tell you. The lead is Mason Thames.
Yep.
He's been in Black Phone. Was his first debut, and then Incoming from last year, which was a Netflix movie that I hated.
Okay, yeah. No, Black Phone goes crazy though.
Black Phone I haven't seen. I need to see that, but that's really his only legit acting credits. He's in Black Phone 2 that's coming out this year, so he's got a big year ahead of him between that and How to Train Your Dragon. But
huge year.
Yeah, and then I guess Nico Parker, who's playing Astrid. She's a nepo baby to Thwande Newton and Ole Parker.
Interesting.
I know Thwande Newton. I'm probably butchering the name. I apologize, but
I love a good nepo baby because if my parents were actors or actresses, I would hop on that train too.
Right.
I'd be like, how can I maximize this opportunity?
I am getting in the game. I've got an in. I'm taking the in.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Nick Frost is in this? How did I not recognize Nick? I didn't know Nick Frost was in this. He's in Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End. He's an Edgar Wright.
Maybe he's one of like the
mainstay.
I don't know, Dragon Killers or something.
He's Gobber the Belch. He's like the guy who's like the kind of like the father figure, like the friend of his dad who kind of helps Hiccup as he's going along. He's got blonde hair in the movie.
Okay.
In the animated one.
Yep.
Man, my funniest review I've seen from this so far is
of the live action.
Of the live action is a 3-star that said this movie would be crazy good if it was animated.
I love those.
It's so
my
good.
favorite part. It's like the TikTok comments.
Yeah.
You have to go to the comments. Like Letterboxd, you got to go to the reviews.
You got to go to the reviews. Yeah. See your friends, see your activity from friends, but then look at the top comments and see what people are saying.
Literally.
It's so good.
Why you do it?
Yeah. The other movie coming out this week is The Materialists. Is it The Materialists or is it Materialists?
I think it's just Materialists.
Materialists. Somebody make a cut there. I'm yapping. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That was awesome.
Thanks. I try. I'm pulling it up because I just realized I didn't have it. Obviously, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. I mean,
top 3 people in the game right now.
They're crazy in the game. I know you're going to see it this weekend. What do you know? What are you most excited for about The Materialist?
I think I'm in for a nice twist. I feel like everyone's expecting Chris Evans to end up being like the love interest of Dakota Johnson, and I don't know if it's going to play out that way. I think on the trailers it looks like that, but I think there's going to be a nice twist somewhere. I think both of them might be scumbags.
That gives me the vibes. My soul read, and this might be my review already. I haven't even seen the movie. This might be Twilight if it was A24. Got the little, which team are you on? I like Twilight too, but this is A24.
Which team?
Which team are you on? Are you on team, who's Chris Evans, John or Harry? Those are lame names. I like Pedro and Chris better.
Yeah.
But are you on team Harry, which is Pedro, or John, which is Chris?
I think I'm team Harry.
Ooh, I'm on team Harry too. I like Pedro. I love Pedro.
Yeah. I love both though. It's so tough.
It's hard to pick. And if you didn't know, this is the same director in only her second feature, same director as Past Lives, which I am ashamed to say, last month was AAPI month. And I set forth a film challenge for myself.
Okay.
And the one movie that I wanted Diana to watch with me was Past Lives. And we started it, got like 45 minutes in, and she was so tired we had to stop. And I have not gotten her to go back to finish it with me. So I haven't seen the full thing yet, but I know.
Changes the way you see a movie.
I know. So I have to go back and rewatch it, and I'm going to watch it just sit down in full and not start 45 minutes in, but go from the beginning. And it kind of, I really liked the start of it, but I'm never going to have that first impression in the
Have you not finished it in full?
No. I haven't finished it.
Okay. I watch it on a plane. So I don't know if it's better to watch it at home, like not on a plane, but like only do half, or just like the plane movies like kill the whole atmosphere of a movie.
They kill the atmosphere, but also there's nothing else for you to be doing in the world but sit down and watch the movie. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no distraction. Nobody's calling you. Nobody's talking to you. The only thing that's happening is the stewardess coming to bring you water, and that's room service.
True.
So honestly, I'm a fan of a plane movie.
I love a plane movie.
I love a plane movie. At the same time, no surround sound, small screen. You could download and watch it on your laptop. You put it like up to on the like tight tray table like this. The laptop screen is right here. That's not so bad.
Yeah,
it could work.
I agree.
I do feel like that's a decent plane movie though, because there's a lot of travel involved. At least the first half. There's like a lot of travel, and like that's kind of a theme of like long distance and stuff like that. That could make it kind of hit hard.
Yeah.
It's D-Box in the sky.
Yeah. True.
you're role playing.
D-Box.
D-Box in the sky for real.
There's nothing in the movie that requires D-Box.
Snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
On a plane. That's D-Box.
That's D-Box.
Or flight on a plane. That's those might be bad life choices to watch those kind of movies on a plane. A plane.
Wouldn't do it.
That'd be funny though.
Or Snow of the Fall or whatever that movie was.
Snow. Society of the Snow.
Yeah.
Somebody just commented that on one of my TikToks, and I was kind of scarred for life thinking about that movie again. We watched that like a year ago, and I
still remember the chairs going through the body.
I didn't know that it was about Redacted. I'm trying not to give a spoiler for this if you want to see Society of the Snow, but when you find out it's about Redacted, kind of blows your mind. and you can never walk back. You kind of have to finish the movie at that point too.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's crazy.
Have to see it.
It's crazy. Yeah, so we're excited for Materialists over here. By the way, 3.6 opening on Letterboxd, so it's a little lower than How to Train Your Dragon, but Letterboxd critics are interesting. Also, I think The Materialist doesn't have a lot of early screenings. The only screenings it had before were from like festivals.
Yeah.
And when something releases in festivals, you're getting like the hardcore critics that are logging it on Letterboxd, so it might boost when it drops tonight or tomorrow.
Also interested to see if it's a comedy in any way.
Yeah, I wonder what the genre says on Letterboxd. It says romance, comedy, drama.
Okay.
So there's a little comedy in there. I'm down for it. It's hard to have Pedro and not have a little comedy in the movie. And same with Chris Evans, honestly. Yeah. They're funny.
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson kind of plays it straight a little bit more, but if you got those two doofuses on her left and her right, that's going to make for a good
She's
good
fierce.
Movie. She's
very fierce.
She is. My favorite Dakota Johnson performance is something else we watched together, which is Bad Times at the El Royale. That's probably my favorite of hers. She's a little bit more of a supporting role, but she kills it in that movie. I just love that movie. I think I might have mentioned that last week.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Star-studded.
And then on Rotten Tomatoes, it's an 86%. So it's higher than How to Train Your Dragon. So it's like, it's weird because it's lower on Letterboxd, higher on Rotten Tomatoes, doesn't have an IMDb score because it hasn't been widely dropped yet. So it's one of those fun things.
Cool.
I do want to rock with the next part of the next segment before we get into the main course. Letterboxd Roundup. So I want to see what we've been watching lately, specifically for me, what I've been watching this week. I'll open with a short little soliloquy about the Phoenician Scheme because I know you haven't seen it yet. Yep. I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers for y'all and also for Bryce because I know he hasn't seen it yet and probably would want to. It's good. Still, if you like Wes Anderson, you're going to like the movie. I like Wes Anderson. He doesn't always work for me. There's a couple things in his screenwriting that have rubbed me the wrong way, specifically in Moonrise Kingdom. I don't like a specific scene in there. Really turned off my vibe for the whole movie, and it's like the most pivotal scene in that movie. Again, no spoilers for that. And then this has elements of my favorite Grand Budapest Hotel because it's funny. I think it's his funniest movie since Grand Budapest Hotel. Asteroid City and French Dispatch. I haven't seen them, but I've heard they're not very funny. So it's not that vibe. This one kind of rolls it back a little bit, but at the same time, it's kind of a spiritual successor to those other two in a way that kind of is rewriting a little bit of what Wes Anderson wants to be moving forward, I think, which is really cool.
Let me ask you this. Who's your favorite actor or actress in the Phoenician Scheme?
Favorite actor or actress in the Phoenician Scheme?
Well, from like their role that they gave. Yeah.
My favorite performance is Mia Thruppleton, which is a pretty relatively unknown actress.
Is that the nun?
She's the nun.
Okay.
She gives the best performance in my opinion. I think Michael Cera is funny in it, and that was it's crazy that we just now got Michael Cera in a Wes Anderson movie. That's a great pairing. I love that pairing. Yep. Benicio del Toro is great too. He's the lead. But I think the movie lives and dies by Mia Thruppleton's performance, and she's really good. So I'm going to be looking for whatever she's in. What's that?
Kills it in the trailer.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't think I remember what the trailer.
She's in the elevator scene. She's like,
oh, kills it in the trailer. I thought you were saying like it kills her character. I'm like, wait.
No,
it spoils it.
Like she's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, she's fire she's in the elevator. Splash.
So
funny. When that hit in the movie, I'm like, I know where this is coming, but it's still funny.
I know every time.
That one it's funny, but I wasn't super all over the script and the plot and how it's all panning out. Wasn't my favorite. I will also admit I was a little bit tired. I didn't fall asleep, but there were a couple points. I stood up in the back of the theater because I didn't want to fall asleep. So I got up out of my seat and stood in the hallway for like 5 minutes.
Respect.
Because I was like, I'm not falling asleep in this.
Yeah.
I paid money to, actually I didn't pay money because I got AMC A-List. It's my first AMC A-List movie.
Shout out.
Hey, huge. Sponsor, but they're not going to sponsor. But hey, if you want to ever, if you see this episode, AMC, I'm here. So it's worth it. It's a good movie. I think you should check it out. I'm in the minority. I gave it a 3-star. The average is a 3.6. I think most people I know really like it, but to me, it's pretty mid-tier Wes Anderson. It's not Fantastic Mr. Fox, not Grand Budapest, not Royal Tenenbaums, not everybody's favorites, in my opinion. So anyways, that's my little take on that. Now one that I am head over heels for, not just because it has Ana de Armas in it, but also one that you've seen, Ballerina, the John Wick movie. Thoughts?
I can't stop raving about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into a John Wick movie, you're already excited. And like, honestly, I don't think I even saw a Ballerina trailer, maybe one, but I didn't know John Wick was in it, and
Word.
then I guess that's kind of a spoiler. Sorry, but I think
It's
I
in
feel
the trailer.
you know,
He's on the poster.
and it's like before the fourth one,
Yeah.
so like they tell you before like this, you know he's alive, everything like that, and she just freaking kills it, man. Every scene when she's throwing grenades in guys' mouths and like just epic things. Like I can't speak highly of it.
I don't want to spoil anything for this one either, because you have to check out Ballerina. I liked it so much that I saw it twice. First time I saw it solo Cinema Club. It was fun. It was a standard showing, and then I saw it afterwards with a couple friends in Dolby Audio at AMC. Bro, this movie was built for this. This movie is built for the theater setup because the screen was bigger, the screen was sharp, but it wasn't IMAX, but it was Dolby Audio. Y'all, the seats were shaking. I was shaking.
Yep.
Everybody in the theater was like oohing and awing and reacting to every single thing that happened in the movie. It happened the first time around too. It wasn't just because of Dolby. Both theater experiences I was in, now they were within a week of the movie coming out, but I saw it on a Sunday and on Tuesday, and everybody in the audience, by the way, not even primetime showings, but everybody in the audience was freaking out. Like, no way.
I'm
get her. Like, it's
laughing
crazy
at some of the scenes because I'm like, no way they thought of that. Like, that way to kill someone.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like amazing that people's brains are like that psychotic.
This is not a spoiler, but playing into that, John Wick is really cool because he's Baba Yaga. He's OP, he's undefeated, he's never going to be beat, right?
Yep.
At least, I'm not going to spoil anything about the other John Wick movies either, but he's undefeated, you can't beat him, there's no way to top him.
Nope.
Ballerina is really cool because Ana de Armas' character Eve is not OP. She's not the Baba Yaga. She's like that, but she's not Baba Yaga.
Yep.
And so she has to get more creative because of physical limitations, because of skill limitations, because she hasn't been in the game very long, all those things. So they have to get creative with the kind of kills that she has. I think, generally speaking, now if you want to talk about a full action sequence, I think John Wick 4 is the best that it gets for the series.
Agreed.
I think Ballerina is my second favorite John Wick movie to date, which I think you agree with from what I talked to you about beforehand. And one of the biggest reasons is because of how creative they have to get, and they do get with the creative kills. I mean, it's crazy. There's grenades, multiple kinds of ARs. I was talking with somebody that I saw the movie with, and he's like, they didn't just use like an AR-15. They use like AR-10, AR-4, AR blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know what any of those are, but that sounds awesome.
It's a gun.
Exactly. They used C4. They used katanas, they used pistols, they used shotguns, they used flamethrowers. Oh my gosh, the flamethrower sequence. Knives.
I love how they kept the knives thing alive. Because,
axes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. There's a specific axe kill that's crazy. It's a little jarring.
Yeah.
By the way, right before that, the kind of, I'm trying to say this vaguely, the snap that comes right before that axe kill. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It got me the first time.
There's a lot that goes into movies when they go into those like specific sounds.
Yes.
Of like, and that's what there's too much that goes into movies.
There's so many details.
Movies.
I love it. I watched a movie last night called Blowout, which is a thriller from the 80s, and it's about a sound engineer and designer in a movie, and he captures like a crime on accident on audio, and he has to prove that he's kind of on a conspiracy, and he's trying to prove that the conspiracy happened, that it was kind of like a planned murder instead of an accident. But he catches that on audio, and it kind of shows a lot of the process. Now, it's from the 80s, but the process of going back and recording everything and layering it and labeling all the tapes and everything. And I'm like, this is so detailed. All the things you have to do in a movie to make it work from a visual perspective, an audio perspective, storylines, storyboards, everything to work. It's crazy. But I do love the sound design in Ballerina. It's fantastic. It's really, really well done. I agree. I cannot implore you enough to go see Ballerina. I am a huge fan of it. I also think, and I noted this in my second review on Letterboxd, I think it's kind of important for Ballerina to not just be a hit, but also a really, really, really good action movie with a female lead. It's rare for a really good action movie with blockbuster appeal to feature a woman as the lead without there being some sort of revealing clothing scene or sexist jokes or like ham-fisted like thing with it, and it's not there. It's like a really well done movie that I think breaks some barriers for the genre with women in that.
Would you consider it like
really
origin story in a way.
Yeah, it's an origin story for Eve.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't have the same like. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man 1 where you're just like waiting for like 3/4 of the movie for somebody to get to their power. It goes through it pretty quickly. It gets quick, but it doesn't feel rushed.
No,
I think it gives ample background. It kind of gives more of a story than any of the John Wick movies individually do. They kind of let it go slowly over time through the 4 movies with John Wick as the lead. But with Ballerina, they kind of set up her arc pretty well. I think it's really well done. So
it is.
Anyways, go see Ballerina. I really, really, really loved it. Another thing that I did want to bring up that I saw this week, and I don't have any notes for this except for wow. I watched Sing 2 this week. I watched Sing 2 this week, and I was not impressed.
Man.
And I gave it a 1.5 star on Letterboxd. It's just not for me, you guys. But Bryce, do you have any thoughts, comments? What's going on in your head?
I'm a Sing fanatic, right? And I think personally, any movie with Johnny in it, the gorilla, deserves at least 2 stars.
Okay.
I mean, Taron Egerton, he kills the Elton John vibe. He could have probably he did play Elton John, right? In the biopic.
He might have. I'm not sure.
He was amazing. And I love the corniness of it all, So I think I saw opening night when it came out with a couple of friends and like crying, laughing, singing, like so. I guess a lot of it had to do with the audience and everything like that around me. But I rewatched it on streaming the other day and me and Heather are crying again.
Really?
So, yeah.
It holds up. Was it because I watched it?
No, we watched it. It's probably a regular rewatch for us.
That's so cool.
We're big Sing fans, but
that's great.
It's DreamWorks makes it, right?
Illumination.
Well, I love Illumination, DreamWorks, Pixar.
They do the Minions and all that stuff too. So
yeah,
that's
but
cool.
I love a good animation though. So
yeah,
I'm just looking for it all.
That's awesome. I think I'm just. You can do a needle drop all you want. You can. I love a musical, but there's a certain brand of musical that Sing has that I just was not about. And
they definitely go poppy. They go real poppy.
Real poppy for sure. Yeah.
I didn't love. I mean, I do thinking back on it now, but like I didn't love at first like the ending song that they chose with the gorilla or the tiger, or the lion, and I was like, okay, I like this song, but then I think it was like a few songs before that I really liked. With the daughter. And I would sing it right now for you, but I just can't.
That's okay. And you didn't warm up your voice.
Yeah, I didn't. No,
anytime an animated movie has animals singing "Cake by the Ocean," I just don't know if I can do it. I just don't know if I can do it. That's the song that comes to mind when I think about it, and that kind of I was like, my animated musical of choice with that sort of vibe is the end credits bonus features in the Shrek 2 DVD. If you know what I'm talking about, the American Idol thing where all the characters in the movie sing that I watched that kind of recently.
I don't think I've seen that.
That was sick. Too. It was cool. Another movie, I want to kind of hit these next couple pretty quickly. We watched Howl's Moving Castle recently. That was cool. I know that's one of your wife's favorites. What are your thoughts on Howl's Moving Castle?
We didn't watch the English dub version. I personally like the English dub version more because Christian Bale kills Howl.
He's a great job.
And they got Josh Hutcherson. I mean, it's just star-studded.
Yeah.
And I think the night we watched it, I might have been a little bit more tired. There was a few breaks in between, which kind of kills a little bit, but we both seen it before, which is nice. But I think the most powerful line to me is, him keeping her safe, like as his primary goal. Yeah. And like as a husband and stuff, like that's like, whether you have kids or a wife, like, that's like, that is your primary goal. Like, I just want to keep you safe. And, sometimes, it's just so important. Yeah. And I love how in the movie they said that. And but I love the animation, love everything they do, and it was just a beautiful movie.
The standout for me is definitely the score. Joe Hisaishi does almost all of the Studio Ghibli scores, and that's one of my favorite scores out of the whole lineup of everything Studio Ghibli's done over the years. And I think I gave it a little lower of a rating this time. I think it dropped a little bit on my tier list because I'd only seen it once. And it was a 4.5 for me. I gave it a 4 this time. Still very good. I think I just wasn't quite as crazy about it, or maybe I'm a little stricter on my rating scale now. I don't know.
Yeah.
The last thing I do want to mention is if y'all want to check out something animated, something in the Predator or Alien universe with those horror movies, Predator Killer of Killers is a like quick 90 animated anthology for Predator fans. It's kind of like Spider-Verse for Predator fans when it comes to the animation, when it comes to the way that kind of a few sporadic storylines come together. It's pretty cool. I gave it like a 3, but I really appreciated what it does, and I think it's a lot of people's brand of animation. It kind of looks similar to if anybody knows the I don't know if you know this, but the Arcane show. It's based on League of Legends, but the Arcane show animation is like very similar to this animation style. It's really cool. Any last thing you want to bring up before we get into About Time?
No, let's get into it.
You don't want to bring up what was the movie you saw?
The Roundup. I saw Hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked.
Which either I feel like there's two people. It's like you grow up with Hoodwinked or you don't.
Yeah.
So I think I usually post my Letterboxd scores on Instagram. I think I got the most likes on Hoodwinked.
Wow.
Than I have on any other movie. And I was like, in the most comments, like I was like, this. I thought it was a horror movie going into it because of how like scary the animation looks.
It's pretty terrifying.
And I tell you, the singing goat might be one of my favorite animation characters of all time because I had no idea what he was going into it.
I barely remember any of that, but
now like I guess like TikTok's like blowing up like memes of it. And I don't know if you've seen the singing goat. He's like the did I? And it's in the movie.
He's on Hoodwink TikTok now, baby.
Literally,
go.
yeah. My algorithm's effed. So,
it's screwed up now. It's over.
Yeah. But, you know,
my Hoodwinked as a kid that like you grew up with it or you didn't was Barnyard. I don't know if you know Barnyard with the cows.
Similar vibes.
Similar vibes, weird animation, off kilter.
Yep.
Probably an objectively bad movie, but some sort of nostalgia with it.
A movie you grow up and you probably laugh at more as an adult.
Yeah, for sure.
And
definitely.
Like as a kid, you're like, oh yeah, I just like this show or a movie, and then you know that's it. But you know, there's a wolf in the movie, and he's got such a specific voice, and I'm like, I know where this is from, but I couldn't tell you his name.
Yeah,
but he's like so funny. So
that's awesome.
I enjoyed it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love revisiting childhood classics.
Yeah.
That about wraps it up for our first half of the episode. I do want to get into our feature presentation of About Time. Yeah. Plot synopsis. This is from Letterboxd, so nothing you probably haven't seen before, but the night after another unsatisfactory New Year's party, Tim's father tells his son that the men in his family have always had the ability to travel through time. They can't change history, but they can change what happens and has happened in their own lives. Thus begins the start of a lesson in learning to appreciate life itself as it is, as it comes, and most importantly, the people living alongside us. Really good.
You don't need anything more than that.
Yeah, y'all, if that doesn't sell you on the movie, listen, we're going to get into some spoiler talk from now on in the movie. If that plot synopsis doesn't grab you, I don't know what you're doing. You need to watch this movie. It's right there. It's right there on the table. I don't know if you can see my finger pointing to it in the camera. Bang. It's a banger. Y'all have to see it. Directed by Richard Curtis, who's the director of Love Actually. If you've seen Love Actually, I haven't. The cast is stacked. Domhnall Gleeson, Rachel McAdams, Bill Nighy, Tom Hollander, and Margot Robbie even. There's a lot of movies that they've been in, from Harry Potter series, the Star Wars series, Mean Girls, The Notebook, multiple Harry Potter appearances. Pirates of the Caribbean is represented here. Pride and Prejudice is represented here. Wolf of Wall Street, Barbie. It's all over the place. There's so many stacked experience, so much stacked experience that's come onto this that people have gone on to do after and before the movie came out in 2013.
I think this movie put Margot Robbie on the map a little bit because this is before Wolf of Wall Street.
That's true.
And like that's what really put her on the map before.
Yeah.
But this was like the movie. It's like, who is that?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
She has a minor role, but she does play it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely can see the like starting of things kind of starting to gain traction for her as she started to make a name for herself in Hollywood. I've got some trivia that I'm gonna rock with and come back to later, so don't let me forget that. But real quick, something that I'm trying to do every episode is a lack of a better term, I'm still trying to come up with a name for it, but a Mount Rushmore ranking. So a top 4 of a topic that's related to the movie that we're covering in an episode. This week's Mount Rushmore is a Mount Rushmore top 4 of romance films. Not necessarily rom-com. Okay. I'm keeping it broad. It can be rom-com, and that's valid, but romance films, Mount Rushmore. I'm going to fill out mine. I don't know if you have yours prepped.
Oh yeah, I know mine.
Good. I'm going with Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express, one of my favorites. It's a foreign film, it's an international film, not in English, but you have to watch this movie. It's incredible. Insane yearning and vibes and all the things that go with that. Chungking Express was hard to pick because I also love In the Mood for Love and Fallen Angels, but that was up there.
Fallen Angels? I feel like I've heard of that. Or Falling or Fallen?
Fallen.
Okay.
E-N.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and really the cover is like they're like in a subway station or something? Okay.
Yep. And it's actually on a motorcycle.
Okay.
And he's rocking through with somebody behind him. Yeah. Both those are from the same director. Very similar vibes to those movies. The director has a really distinct voice.
Okay.
Chungking Express is probably my favorite one though. That I have to rewatch it, but that's like right outside my top 4. That could seriously gain a place in my top 4 in the future. It's like that good. I really love that movie. Another one that I cried in the theater with my wife to last year, and of course that's suitable for a romance film, We Live in Time. Oh, I love We Live in Time. Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh's having a year already with Thunderbolts.
A career,
honestly. Yeah, she's on an incredible tear. And Andrew Garfield is like one of the most lovable teddy bears in Hollywood. So you can't dislike Andrew Garfield. So that's my second.
That movie has the craziest pregnancy scene of all time.
Yeah,
in the bathroom of the gas station, like
oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Like jaw dropped like the entire time. You have to watch it.
It's so good, y'all. I actually haven't rewatched it since the theaters because I haven't gotten the A24 release yet, which is on my list. I need to get that. It was actually on our registry, and I was like crossing my fingers because I'm like, this is kind of, I'll wait, but I'm going to have to get it at some point soon. Just in case anybody. Yeah. Third one is kind of an indie one with David Johnson, who's one of my favorite actors from Alien Romulus.
Yes.
Rye Lane. Have you gotten the chance to check this out yet?
I
It's so good. It's a British rom-com. It's a tight like 85 minutes, so it's not long at all. But it's incredibly well directed. It's snappy. It's got really quick pacing. It's got really good visuals. It's hilarious. And it tugs at your heartstrings in the right way.
Good.
And I really, really, really love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Love David.
Couple black leads too. So it's a great movie. I watched it in February for the first time, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about that. I think about that one regularly. And my last in the 4, besides my honorable mentions, is a romance that's also kind of a slice of life, kind of not anthology, but kind of like a over the course of somebody's life. The Worst Person in the World. Have you heard of this?
Maybe.
It's I'm trying to remember the lead actress's name, and I'm gonna butcher it. Actually,
is that like a sarcastic title?
Yes. Well, kind of. It's she feels like the worst person in the world at a couple points in the movie. Okay. And she definitely makes mistakes, and that's part of how you sympathize with her character. It's not cookie cutter. It's a foreign film that is actually a Criterion release that I'm looking to get at the Criterion sale next month. But it's really, really great. It came out in 2023. Okay. So it's a relatively recent movie. It's really well done. Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything about that one. I'm just going to say it's really great, and you also check it out. And my 3 honorable mentions I have written down: Love and Basketball. Fantastic. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Wuxia film, really great. And About Time. I had to throw About Time in there. I've always loved this movie, so it's going to get the honorable mention, even if it doesn't make my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's my rundown. Bryce, let me hear yours.
Excluding About Time, because that's in my top 4 on Letterboxd.
Right. So it would obviously make it.
Yeah. And so right off the bat, La La Land.
Ooh.
It's it's a romance movie, but it's also more like, people think just musical right off the bat, but that ending scene, I'm not going to say what happens or anything just in case you haven't seen it, but like that ending scene like tears me up. Yeah. And it took me a couple watches to be like, all right, I respect the ending scene now, because it can be a little controversial. Yeah. Silver Linings Playbook.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Bradley Cooper.
Oh, that's a Philly movie.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. It is a Philly movie. Yeah. Robert De Niro. Yeah, that's in there. I've seen it a couple times now. I have to look at this. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah. Jim Carrey.
I haven't seen that in years, but it's really good.
Jim Carrey's run from like 2000 to like 06, and then you know what he did after that.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw that in there. That movie has some of like the best like visuals I've ever seen. Yeah. Like it's a heartbreaker. Like, the movie has to make me cry to like be on the Mount Rushmore for romance. So that definitely did. And then honorable mention, Little Woman. It's like
Ooh.
let me clarify, the one with Florence Pugh, Timothy.
Yes, that almost made my list. I had to leave it out, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
when I think about it, I don't think immediate romance. But I think of just
that's
like,
why I left it out.
Just heartwarming, just like, and there's a little bit of romance. I was like, yeah, I'll let that squeak by.
It counts.
And then, yeah,
it's so good. You have to include that in there.
Have to. And then last one, and I was just looking up like different romance ones. I was like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, I watched that recently this year. And for the first time, that's so much fun. And it's a romance.
Chris Evans.
It's so good. Yeah. Chris Evans is good in it.
Sarah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So those are just some, that I saw right off the bat, and I like didn't think anything. I was like, yeah, that can make it.
Yeah.
I was like, I loved it that much, and I've seen all these movies at least 2 or 3 times.
Word.
I was
they stand the test of time. That's great.
So yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore.
Do you have any honorable mentions or anything that was on the verge?
Just those last 2, because About Time's on there, and but yeah, La La Land would make it, and I'd say Scott Pilgrim versus the World would probably be my honorable mention.
That is strong. I love that. Speaking of About Time, of course, we're gonna dive into it. I've seen this a few times, a few different settings, different stages of life. I watched it for the first time. I'm married, and I've been with my wife now for a little over 4 years since we've been met and dating. Yeah, thank you. So I saw this once right before I met her. So it hit hard, but differently.
About Time.
I saw it once with her, although we didn't finish it. It was a similar thing to, but I knew the movie.
Yeah.
And now I've seen it once after marrying her.
That's amazing.
And I have a different kind of unique takeaway every time I watch the movie. It's really beautiful, the way that it makes you kind of introspectively speak about things within yourself. And it's really great. I don't know.
That's probably, if I was like a premarital counselor, I'd be like, just watch About Time.
Watch About Time, man. That's good advice.
It might make you want to move to like Maine or like Ireland or like something crazy like that on the water, but
somewhere far away.
Do that, and like you'll really appreciate each moment together.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It makes you think that you could go it makes you think you can go anywhere with anyone as long as they're the right people with you, and it does not matter.
Does not matter
where you're at, what you're doing, as long as you're with the people you love.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I can't lie though. This is something that I didn't dislike about the movie, but I had to just suspend disbelief. I'm like, there's no way on God's green earth that I would do this. I can't lie. Would never give up the chance to meet my wife for the first time in canon, to help my terrible roommate that I despise have a better play. I'm sorry, maybe I'm a bad person.
That guy sucks.
He's a terrible person. Even to where he goes back in time to try to pick a different best man speech, and he's like, "Oh, he asked me to do this effing thing. I can't believe." I'm like, bro.
It shows that like, as someone who like wants to be a husband, like you have to be selfless. Yeah. It kind of goes back to like that characteristic, and like what a great husband has to be, and that's just one of like, you want to put your wife first and everything, but they weren't married yet, so he's like, oh man,
it's true.
I gotta help this guy, even though I just met the girl of my dreams.
That's good. That's good perspective. My thought was, and I think he had a lapse in judgment, not realizing that he would have not had her number at that point, because he realized he doesn't have her number.
True.
But he didn't take credit for it, by the way. He didn't take any sort of credit for changing the script or anything with his friend. Not just because it would have outed him, but he could have still taken credit for it. He didn't do it. Very selfless. So you're talking about being selfless. It's huge. But he missed the date completely. So that whole iconic scene of just a black screen and then like the time flashing by in the corner, I'm like, that's totally missed on him.
Awesome.
Rachel McAdams never experiences that date. That's crazy to me.
That's true.
That's the best. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Scenes, yeah.
And when they come out and she walks out after her friend and his friend go off, and she walks out and he's got her little like fringe or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like,
oh, frolic, or they?
Yeah, I think it was called a fringe.
Did they call it a fringe? Yeah, they might have. Yeah.
But that hairstyle she's got, and she's like, I don't know if I'm feeling it. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. Like he's like stumbling over his words. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Is that scene a little unrealistic? Like, there's no way in the world, like in New York or wherever, they have like blind dates where the lights are off, right?
No, it's true. It's in London.
Oh, it's in London?
But it's true. Those are real places. I've heard about them. I haven't gone to a date there.
Imagine.
But it's real. Actually, this was a trivia thing that I have written down that I don't know if I wrote down the specific. I don't have the specific restaurant written down, but I did find while researching there is a restaurant near where they filmed that scene that actually does that with blind waiters that serve you in the dark.
Wow.
Yep. It's
That's
real.
incredible.
So you can experience what it's like to be blind, going out and being in public and all those things and have that experience. So it's a really cool idea. Incredible to use that for a blind date. I wouldn't use that for a blind date. That's crazy. Really blind the entire time. But they play into that and use the irony of that factor to really work well in the movie. For
really
sure.
Well.
So yeah, if it wasn't for Kate Moss, my brother would have never met the love of his life. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the nude Kate Moss that they're so funny when he does go up to meet her for the first time. It's extra awkward because he's standing in front of the nude picture of Kate Moss. And I'm like, bro, there's nipples right behind you, brother. And you're trying to riz. Right. It's crazy.
Her mind is not on you, brother.
Her mind is like, who's this creep?
Yeah.
And
no, literally.
Hello?
And just a testament to Rachel McAdams for being the best actress ever.
She's really good too.
Just like
she's awesome.
Pretending she's never seen his face, like in real life in the movie, like
right.
A lot that goes into it.
It's so good. Yeah, she has a really good performance. I love Domhnall Gleeson. I love Rachel McAdams in this. Bill Nye is probably my favorite because it's such a subtle, sweet performance, and he gets a good amount of screen time. But it's hard to
I want more of him.
Feel so cozy.
Yeah,
and make somebody feel so safe with so little screen time and not that much to say or do. I mean, he does a lot. He's a big point of the movie. But like Domhnall Gleeson's lovable and you can tell he's kind. Yep. But Bill Nye is like Winnie the Pooh incarnate. He's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love him.
Funny thing about when I saw About Time, I had actually seen The Rise of Skywalker with Gleeson in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, before I watch About Time, I'm like, ooh, this guy? I'm like, this guy sucks in that movie. and then I'm just like,
I was the spy. I'm the spy.
Yeah, literally. So I was like, ooh, I guess I'll watch a rom-com with this guy. And I was like, I love him.
He's awesome. I want more of him, more of these kind of roles for him for sure.
Yeah.
He needs more of that.
Yep.
Really, really does.
Yep.
Another point I want to bring up, I love Tim realizing that Charlotte, Margot Robbie's character, it was not who he made her out to be in his dreams, which is what made him realize he wanted to marry Mary and ask her to marry him. And then he's walking. I was like, bro, the first time I watched this, I was like, bro, you're not going to cheat on your girl that's going to be your wife. It's so clearly the one for you. And he gets the chance where she's like trying to instigate it. And he's like being a man to walk her home and all of that, whatever. And he's like, I got to go.
He knew when he walked her home that would come up.
Yeah.
And I wrote that down. I was like, not, because we know he could have went back in time, acted like he never did it, been like, okay, that was a one-time thing, like and then he in the moment he just says, no, I can't do this.
Right.
It's just one of the most beautiful scenes of all time.
It's really cool, really good.
Yeah.
It's one of those like running in the rain, like, oh, I'm gonna go meet my person.
No, literally.
But it doesn't come off really.
But you're
corny.
turning
It's
down
really well
Margot
done.
Robbie,
right?
To go, and it's the director knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, I love that scene. It's really well done,
especially since he's been chasing her for
years,
forever.
Yeah, since the start of the movie.
Yeah, it just proved true love.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love that scene. There's a lot of scenes between Tim and I'm forgetting her name right now. What's her name? Mary.
Yep.
Between Tim and Mary that are just beautiful and really well done and make you kind of, now that I'm a husband, not for very long, but not very long yet so far.
Yeah.
But with the little experience I have, I'm like, there's so many moments that I relate to in this. And there's a lot of really beautiful moments that they have between each other. Him meeting her parents for the first time and how there was a quote I wrote down where she's just like, I just really want you to like him. And because I really do. And I love him and I hope you do too. And she's like totally botching the first meeting.
Yeah.
But it's really well done. And that's like, I was like, oh, that really hit.
Yeah.
Hard. Because when you meet somebody, when you're bringing your wife to your people, whether you know that she's going to be your wife at the time or not, which I did when I brought Diana to my parents, I'm like, I really hope you like her because I really want you to, but at the same time, I love her. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's there.
Yeah. It's like I respect y'all, but it's like at the same time, I know I like her more than.
Right. So y'all will have to warm up to her if you don't, but you better.
Yeah. And knowing Diana, everybody will.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I love her
too.
And
yeah. And honestly kind of makes you think of like just the parent's perspective. Like, imagine like having a kid like at 16 years being like, oh yeah, can my girlfriend come over? You're like, oh God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just a crazy thought. Not being a parent yet.
Yeah. I'm not a parent yet either, but at the same time, you understand from their perspective that Tim and Mary end up being parents. And then obviously there's crazy, the movie doesn't lead into the sci-fi angle of it very much with the time travel. There's not any butterfly effect stuff or anything. Some of that is kind of, you got to suspend disbelief for some of that stuff. Not for the fact that they can travel back in time, but the way that the time changing doesn't affect things like it maybe should in other time travel movies. So that's a little bit of like some plot things you kind of have to suspend disbelief for. But that's not the heart of the film. But the one thing that really does come back to bite him is when he tries to go save Kit Kat, and all of a sudden his daughter turns into his son, and he's like, I can't do this. I have to go back. There's no way that I can give up having my daughter, who was like 1 at that point, by the way. Yeah. He's like, there's no way I can give up having my daughter. I have to choose my daughter over keeping my sister out of a car crash, which is like an insane decision to have to make as a person. Yeah. But it's really well done.
The one thing I'll say about that, which it kind of gives that reality of like, as many times as you try to go back in time and save someone, like, sometimes like you just can't. Yeah. And they're going to run into those, roadblocks and stuff. And that scene, hits hard so much. And he comes to that realization, it's like, I'm not Superman. What I mean?
It's true.
It's just like, that's just life. And the best thing you could do is be there for him. And that's what he does at the hospital bed.
That's all you can do. You can't change her past.
Yeah.
And it's true too. There's a line that the dad says, I'm not going to say it specifically, but I'll paraphrase. He says essentially like, you can go back in time and change certain things, but you're never going to be able to fix things by going back in time. Yeah. And like, he can't fix it. Yeah. And if he does, there's crazy repercussions either way. So it's really well done with that. And speaking of that wisdom his dad is one of the most wise people, and he's so humble. Even in the speech, he's like, there's not a lot of things I'm proud of in my life. There's only 3 people I've loved and all these things. I'm like, the way he carries his life, you would think he's so full of love and so joyous. And he kind of is, but he's also like, there's not a lot in my life that I'm proud of. Yep. And I'm like, speaks to the fact that like the final resolution, which is the quote that I'll go over at the end of the episode, that is the last thing that Tim says in the microphone for the movie in a voiceover, which is basically that like his dad didn't get the full extent of the happiness that he wanted to, despite having all that experience before Tim. But Tim really found the beauty of life is living it a day at a time and not having to go back and time travel anymore. His dad still time traveled and went back every day, very regularly, all the time, and still found that his life had lost some of its glimmer. And it's like, okay, he's not proud of too many things in his life, but at the same time, you've had so much time to be proud of it. It's like, it's really cool how humble he is. Yeah, he is. Despite having all of that advantage and those great things that he's very clearly possessing. It's really cool. I think it's really well done. Yeah.
Love the dad.
What's that?
Love the dad.
I love the dad, man. Bill Nighy is awesome. There's not a role he's had that I think is poorly done. Yeah. Did you know he's the same guy that is in Pirates 2? He's David. Is he David Jones? The guy with the tentacle.
David.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right? Such a different role.
You think of that guy, you're like, big dude.
Right.
And he's like,
he does the mocap and everything too, like the dots on his face and everything. It's crazy. That's awesome. By the way, if y'all haven't gone back to watch that movie, that CGI holds up so well. It's incredible. Like CGI should not hold up that well. You look at some stuff that's 5-10 years ago and it doesn't hold up as well as something like that, which is like 15-20. It's crazy how well that holds up. It's really well done. So Bill Nighy's the GOAT. I mean, he's just the GOAT. Final point that I want to bring up that's specific to a filmmaking technique that I really like is, this is a spoiler, I'm going to warn you guys, for every movie you're ever going to watch. There's something in movies called color theory. Okay. I learned about it when I took a film class in high school, in college. And essentially, in film, when they use different colors, they're supposed to elicit different emotions and sometimes even foreshadow things happening in the future. Red is supposed to get you a little uneasy, have something that's going to happen, either passionate or maybe dangerous or something like that, which makes sense. Yep. Green can be nature, but it can also be disgust and those sort of things. That kind of just makes sense, right? If you watch Inside Out, like the characters have a certain color that goes with their emotion, right? It's cinema. But it's true. One of the things that is an appreciated and maybe not quite as known and not used in every movie ever, but in a really good movie. Purple is a really dangerous color. Purple signifies death. Purple signifies the end of something. Purple signifies the change, like a drastic change with dramatic, like bad fallout or outcomes. And so there's a lot of purple used in this movie if you didn't realize that. And I looked back at it this time and I recognized it. Kit Kat loves purple. Kit Kat loves the purple cupcakes. For a long time, I'm like, oh, it's foreshadowing. She's going to die. And she doesn't. She has a car crash, which is one of those things that it signifies. But she doesn't end up dying, which is a good subversion. But then while they're throwing all the purple at Kit Kat, I noticed, wait a minute, I don't think Kit Kat is the one that died. On this rewatch, for a second, I'm like, she doesn't die. She doesn't die. I'm like, no, the dad dies. And I started to notice the purple in his shirts, the purple on the background and shots that he was in. And I'm like, wow, they foreshadow it really well with purple.
I love that.
So it was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was really beautiful. And I think even the tennis scene, he might be wearing purple in one of the tennis scenes at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's why I wrote that down. I don't remember that specifically to my memory now, but I think I wrote that down as being another thing where he was wearing purple.
That tennis court is a dream.
For me. The table tennis?
No, table tennis.
Oh, the tennis court too. Yeah,
like
both of them crazy.
But yeah, I love when like they just go deeper than just what the movie presents itself, and then you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, there's like a lot of themes in here that
a ton.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think About Time isn't necessarily subtle about its themes. Sometimes I have an issue with a movie not being subtle and being very overt and in your face about what its themes are and spelling it out for you.
True.
But I don't have that problem with About Time because it's done so well intentionally and wholeheartedly, and it's supposed to be accessible and so that everybody that watches it can understand what the point of the movie is. Everybody that watches it can have a certain takeaway. It's not pretentious. It's not highbrow. It's not trying to have you questioning what your life is when you leave in a way that's going to like be predatory to somebody's film language in any way. But it is so intentionally introspective to spell it out in a way that anybody can relate to. It's really well done. I love that. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Any other points that really stuck out to you on this one that you want to bring up? I know it's one of your favorites. I kind of let a little discussion in here, and there were some huge points that I liked, but is there anything you wanted to bring up?
My wife got me a soundtrack CD for my birthday last year, and the soundtrack is underrated.
It's really good.
There's one song, and my buddy Campbell Rice, he kind of showed it to me. He's like, you love this song? And I was like, I feel like I heard that song, but like, send me it again. It's called Gold in Them Hills. Gold in Them Hills.
Gold in Them Hills.
And I think it's by, his name's like Ron Sexsmith or something like that. It's something crazy. And it's all about just like finding the gold in everything. And it's like kind of one of those pivotal points where, you know, we learn something new and stuff like that. And I actually added that song to like my faith playlist. I'm like,
that's beautiful.
This song is gonna like push me through everything.
Wow.
So it kind of brings me back to the movie and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Soundtrack, I love. This movie, no other movie makes me feel more appreciative of life than like seeing this movie. So if I need like some motivation, like I will go to this movie.
Right.
And I'm like, life is too precious.
Yeah.
Like, why am I stressed over work?
This thing stressing you out. You're like, this is not what's important.
This will blow over tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or the next day. So that, the wedding scene, we haven't talked about that.
The rain.
Oh
man. The red dress.
It's
not a white dress. She's wearing a red dress.
She went red dress.
Kind of iconic.
Yeah.
By the way, I love his little jig that he does. He does this little like, hey, hey, as she's walking down, like to make her laugh a little bit. He doesn't cry. I couldn't relate. I was a mess when Diana walked down the aisle. But the little jig he gave, I'm like, that's such dude. It's so much riz. Even when
the dad looking at him,
it's crazy.
Like, oh, dude.
The dad's like,
and then the tent going everywhere. Like,
yes,
I would be like just total chaotic if that happened at my wedding, because I had a tent and like no rain, thankfully. But that and then the not being able to use the pass to get rich.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
well, you can. He said you can, but you're probably not going to have any fulfillment from that.
No fulfillment, and it's like it's so hard to think about that. Like, dang, really? And then because like it could like mess up your way without you even thinking about it. And
right.
It's like, you know,
I think I took that as I think a lot of people want riches and money in their life so that they can free up their time.
Yeah.
But it's like, brother, you've got the time. You've got all the time.
All the
so
time.
really, there's no reason for you to go back and abuse the system to get all the money you want so that you can have all the free time, because there's not going to be anything that you're doing.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I took that.
Yeah.
I think that's why people want money so much, because what's more important than money is time. And you can never get or buy more time except if you just have all the money that you don't need to spend on doing things you don't want to do, which typically for a lot of people is work if you don't love your work, right? So to find something instead that is fulfilling in your work is more what he's imploring him to do in that opening scene, I think, which is really good advice.
Yeah. I love that perspective.
Yeah.
Nothing is more important than time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, just like the looks of everything about the movie, like it makes you like want to go there instantly. You're like, oh, I feel like I could retire there.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I don't know exactly where, but it reminds me of like a Maine, Ireland, Boston, England type of vibe. And I don't know, just like when he like goes back to being a kid walking on the beach with like his dad and stuff. Oh, that stuff kills me.
Yeah.
Kills me.
It's really interesting too that you bring up that it feels like Maine or Ireland or something when it's in England, because actually out of the 3 leads, none of them are English.
Crazy.
Domhnall Gleeson's Irish.
Okay.
Rachel McAdams is Canadian, and Bill Nye is I forget where he's from, but there was somewhere else he's like not where the movie's taking place.
I wonder if
I'm like, that's so interesting. Maybe Welsh or something.
Terrible roommate.
The terrible roommate. He probably is.
He probably is.
Yeah, I think he is.
They had to. They're like, yeah, you're from here, dude.
Yeah, this is where you're at.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Couple quick trivia hits before we kind of bow out of the About Time section. This is so interesting to me. This blew my mind, and I'm so glad this did not happen. Did you know they almost casted somebody else instead of Rachel McAdams? Rachel McAdams was the second choice. Second choice. They had casted Zooey Deschanel. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless. Oh, no, not Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless. She's in 500 Days of Summer. She's in Elf. You might know Zooey Deschanel, New Girl. She was cast, but she had a scheduling conflict, so she dropped out, and Rachel McAdams replaced her.
She would have been fine.
She would have been fine.
Like Rachel McAdams, like makes the movie
totally different.
Like changing her,
the way
up for
she
Notebook.
glows on screen, and this is not she's great in everything, but this is my favorite role of hers for sure.
Yeah.
Her, for lack of a better term, aura throughout the whole movie and the warmth that she has matches everything so well. I don't think Zooey Deschanel can do that. She has like a certain like awkward funniness that I don't think would lend well to the theme of the movie.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Tim mentions when he walks her to her car after the date, which is retconned, essentially in the real movie canon. He mentions it's a long walk to Mary's car, and he's not kidding. The distance between Joanne's flat and Mary's apartment in real life is about 6 miles across central London. So they walked 6 miles, which tells you how long they were talking, which is crazy.
Which, after a first date, that's kind of ideal.
For a 6 mile walk.
Maybe not 6 miles.
To talk for a while?
Yeah. I feel like me and Haley used to like just like sit in a car.
Yeah,
like
me too.
Hours
with
and
Diana,
just like talk and like listen to different music. So like, I don't know, like it probably just sparked something. He was like, if I'm gonna walk 6 miles,
something about getting you're sweating a little bit, your heart rate's up, and you're nervous, and everything else going on. It's like, man, I don't know if they showed it in that scene, but he must have been soaked through his shirt, brother.
He was definitely
There's no
sweating.
way.
Yeah. 6 miles is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. This is random. I just thought it was kind of interesting. This was a surprise hit movie in South Korea.
Okay.
Interesting. A lot of people in South Korea loved it. Apparently, like over 3 million people watched it, which is kind of a big deal.
Not shocked.
And then Oscar-wise, this features 5 Oscar nominees in the cast. Rachel McAdams is Oscar nominated. Bill Nye is Oscar nominated. Margot Robbie. And then Vanessa Kirby, which is, she's actually in this movie. I don't know if you recognize Vanessa Kirby from upcoming Fantastic Four.
Yeah, no. Which
she is Joanne. She's Mary's best friend. That's Vanessa Kirby. She's Oscar nominated. I actually don't remember what for.
Okay.
But then also Richard Grant.
She was in a couple Mission Impossibles and like.
Was she really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen all the Mission Impossibles yet, so I'm a little fake on that.
Yeah.
I'm actually pulling up her IMDb at the moment because
you said Hugh Grant was the last one.
Hugh. Oh shoot, I pressed something wrong.
Or was it?
It was Richard E. Grant, not Hugh Grant.
Richard. Okay. Movie. Yeah, I was like, what?
I was like, really? He's in there? No, but Vanessa Kirby and Hugh Grant. Now I'm saying it. Richard Grant, Oscar nominated. And the last thing is Richard Griffith is the actor that butchers the lines. He's from Harry Potter. He's Uncle Dursley.
Okay.
This was his last film before he passed. So kind of a beautiful film to be in as you exit, though. And as he's like an older actor and he's kind of playing a kind of like breaking the fourth wall kind of role for him. It's pretty cool. So R.I.P. That was his last movie.
Started to feel bad for the guy. You're like, please just say the line.
Say the line, brother.
Come on, brother.
Do it, please.
These guys time traveling for you.
Yeah, for real, bro. I'm going to leave the about time with one quote before we get to our ratings. The final quote of the movie, just beautiful, and it's a good takeaway. And in the end, I think I've learned the final lesson from my travels in time, and I've even gone one step further than my father did. The truth is, now I don't travel back at all, not even for the day. I just try to live life every day as if I've deliberately come back to this one day, to enjoy it as if it was the full, final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life. When
he goes back and just smiles at the barista, like it's just simple stuff like that, you know, and it ends the movie like that. So you're like left like, oh man, like who do I need to like smile at today?
Who do you need to go say hi to?
Yeah.
Who do you need to say you love them to today? That's why I wore the shirt. Like genuinely tell someone you love them. This movie makes you think that.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I got to go just spend time with the people I love. If you haven't been to the show before, welcome. So glad you made it to this point. We have two different kinds of ratings on the movies that we cover. We have the Lettertalked rating and then the Letterboxd rating. My Lettertalked rating for this episode, I am giving About Time 11 purple cupcakes eaten out of a dozen.
I love that.
The purple cupcakes stood out to me. I really love those purple cupcakes.
Yeah.
How about your Lettertalked rating?
My I was actually thinking about this
while
we were doing this. I was like, oh, frick. You used to mention cupcakes, and I was like, oh, yeah, I think I need to think of something like that. So I'm a big popcorn guy. You know, big Publix popcorn, like movie popcorn. Like
you got
a lot of
Publix
butter.
popcorn.
So we'll do a popcorn reference. 99 of those popped popcorns and one kernel.
99 popcorns in one kernel. It oozes out of one kernel with way more.
Yeah, 99 out of 100.
Oh, 99 out of 100.
It's just perfect.
That's beautiful.
This movie's perfect for me.
That's awesome.
If there's, there'd probably be just one thing I didn't like that I can't think about right now. That's the one kernel. It's like, get that out of here.
The one kernel didn't get popped, but 99 got popped. It's perfect. That's a near perfect bag. You can't get a better ratio than that, realistically speaking.
100%.
That's awesome. That translates to me for my Letterboxd rating, 4.5 stars out of 5. I think that's a 5 for you.
5 for me.
5 for you. And that's a beautiful thing. I love a 5-star.
Yeah.
Love a 5-star.
Oh yeah.
You can't beat it.
I definitely hand them out more
liberally
than most people, but I don't know what goes into making movies, so I'm like, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. I'm a little more strict than most of my in real life friends on my ratings, but this one's undeniable.
Yeah,
undeniable. So good.
Great way to
put it. It's undeniable. Thank you so much for joining us on the Lettertalked podcast. If you haven't, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts at Lettertalked. And Andy P. Rob on TikTok and Instagram. Andy P. Rob on TikTok, Andy P. Roberts on Instagram. Check out the House 1055 YouTube channel. Check House 1055 out on TikTok and on Instagram. You'll find all of the stuff for the house there, and you'll be able to find these episodes. So whether you're watching on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go follow us, subscribe, hit a like, comment one of your favorite things from the movie. And all those things. And that'd be great to get to interact with you guys. Bryce, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
It was an honor.
The one great thing about Andy is that when he posts a TikTok or an Instagram story, he wants to hear your feedback.
I do.
Yeah. So it's like, what's your top 4? All right, here's my top 4.
I do a few of those. Yeah. It's fun to get all.
It's interactive.
I like being interactive. It's great to build a community.
Like the guy in the movie, he's selfless. Thank
you.
That's all you can ask for.
Hey, I couldn't have a better co-host for the episode across the table from me. Couldn't have a better guest. Bryce Barter, everybody. Little round of applause. Thank you so much.
Cinema.
Thank you for joining us at the Letter Talk podcast. I will see you all next time. Peace.